Today is a very auspicious day, Disappearance Day of one of the most prominent disciples of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Raksak Sridhar Gosvami Maharaj. Also, today is the Adivas ceremony for Purushottam month. Adivas means preliminary function. One day before, we have to prepare for the event next day, or here it is 1 month. Vrata, vrata means vow. We have to vow. Yesterday I spoke something about Purushottam month, and also I have decided, because some who are listening to these programs on Skype, maybe this will be their first observance of Purushottam month. So I decided that in the beginning we will sing those Jagannath Ashtaka and also Chaura Grananya Purushashtaka, which are to be chanted during Purushottam month daily. And also I will read that article by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur for maybe 10-15 minutes. And then prayers of Brahma to Supreme Lord. And after we will finish this Purushottam article, then there is one from where Bhaktivinoda Thakur collected from Naradiya Puran, that more elaborate that story about Draupadi's past life and this. So once we will finish these two articles, then we will have also more time for prayers of Brahma, but maybe it will take 1 week or so in the beginning that we will give also this topic, because maybe some explanation will be necessary for the observance of Purushottam month. Yesterday I told in brief that solar and lunar month, they have different number of days. Lunar is shorter, so in order to harmonize lunar and solar calendar, every 2 years and 8 months and something, 1 month has to be included to harmonize. And those who are followers of Karma Kanda, they are smartas, because of their eligibility, as we will hear in this article, they think this month is impure, extra month. So they do not prescribe any religious activities during this month. So this month felt depressed and went to Narayan, took shelter. Then Narayan took him to Krishna. Then Krishna told, no, you are the best month. You are the highest month, and as I am the highest, you will also be highest. I am Purushottam, your name will be Purushottam. Those who will observe you, they will please me. Their all sins will be destroyed, and everything. We will hear in this article. So all devotees, those who are followers of path of eternal welfare, Paramartha, they will very carefully observe this month in order to please Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and Radharani. They are both presiding deities of this month. Among 12 months in a year, Kartik is most auspicious for spiritual progress, but this Purushottam month is even more auspicious, more powerful. So all devotees, they are very happy to observe it, to satisfy Krishna. There are some diet restrictions, like for Kartik, including, I said yesterday, I'm not sure about chickpea, that black chickpea is prohibited, but I asked whether that light yellow colored chickpea is also prohibited or not, did not yet get reply. But other things are prohibited, like in Kartik, no mustard seed, no oil mustard, then honey, sesame, of course eggplant and all these which are prohibited during Chaturmasya. And we have to chant these two Ashtakas daily, Jagannath Ashtakam because he is Purushottam Bhagavan, and Chaura Gargana Purushashtakam means Krishna as supreme thief. And we have to offer ghee lamp daily to Krishna's lotus feet, like during Kartik. And of course we may do Tulsi Parikrama, that is anyhow always devotees they are doing. And we have to hear this topic. Yesterday I told how Brahma stole the calves and cows, and ultimately he was bewildered. Then he took shelter of Krishna, and by his grace he could realize that Krishna is the original source of all. Supreme Lord's forum, other forums, everything. So he took absolute shelter, and by his grace he got that vision, realization of Krishna and his qualities. So then he spoke beautiful prayers to please Krishna. Actually, Krishna, blessing him, spoke through his mouth his own glories and hearing. So those prayers are very important and very beautiful. So for a whole month we will hear this. And there is one mantra given by Kaundinya Muni during Purushottam month. We have to chant daily, at least 12 times mentally, or 24 or 36, like by 12, multiplied by 12. You can do any amount, but at least 12. That we will also do tomorrow after Ashtakas here, because in our month, during Purushottam month, this program is in the afternoon, like 4:30 p.m. And then this article will be discussed about Purushottam month. Then everyone will together sing these Ashtakas. And at the end also, all will chant. Jap means mentally 12 times they will chant that mantra. Govardhana Dharang Bande, Gopalam, Goparupinam, Gokulutsam Ishanam, Govindam, Gopikapriyam. It is in Shastra given. Also, our Gurudev gave the meaning. You will find on bbtirtha.org that we have to do. And all offenses we can remove by this. So tomorrow we'll start. Today we are praying for the grace of Supreme Lord to give us strength to observe for his satisfaction. Also today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. He appeared in Hapania village in West Bengal in a very high class Brahmin family. Both parents, they were religiously minded. So Sridhar Maharaj was inclined to spiritual practices since birth. Of course, he is coming from Golok Vrindavan and is playing the pastime of sadhaka here in this world, practitioner. So he read all Shastras, Upanishads and all these which Brahmin they will do, and Gayatri initiation, all that Brahma Gayatri. So this he was doing and got many realizations also with Brahma Gayatri when he was a boy. And then he studied law. He was also married, but then his wife died, and at that time he was searching for a guru but could not find anyone suiting. Then one his friend told him the name of some person he should check. Then Sridhar Maharaj went to that person, and he was nice, but still he could not capture the heart of Sridhar Maharaj, and that person also said, yes, this is okay. I agree that because Sridhar Maharaj had first attraction for Ramchandra and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special inclination, then that person said, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is highest. There is no doubt. But that is very high thing about Radha Krishna Lila in this. First, one must follow the process given by Siddhartha Gautam Buddha to become fully detached from this world. After that, one has to study commentary of Vedanta of Shankaracharya to know about Brahman, impersonal Brahman, so that he may get entrance into that. That is superior teaching than Siddhartha Gautam Buddha. That will destroy or remove your individual identity. This worldly identity will be merged in matter. But this Shankara is merging into Brahman. Also no individuality, but you will be situated in Brahman, spiritual, eternal platform. Not only constantly changing, but that eternal. Then after that you can come to Ramanuja and these Vaishnavas, then Mahaprabhu. So that person said to Sridhar Maharaj. Then he said, no, I did not hear, means read anywhere Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said like that. What he said is that one must find a sadhu, pure devotee, and engage in devotional service to Krishna under his guidance by hearing and chanting and all these practices. So he did not stay there, Sridhar Maharaj. Then he saw one Gauriya Math poster there in Calcutta, and he was attracted, and he went there, and first time he saw Prabhupada, I heard this from Srila Maharaj's recording, was he came to that Bhakti Vinod Asam in Calcutta, that is Ultadanga Road, that was first Gauriya Math. He came there just when Srila Bhakti Sansara Thakur came back from Nagar Sankirtan with all the devotees. And he saw him, and first vision was that he is not dependent on anything and anyone in this world. He's beyond this world. This was his first impression he got. Then later, he used to come to the mat and meet Prabhupada and hear Harikatha and was attracted. Then his wife died. Then, that time he did not yet join the mat, but was hearing Harikatha and inquiring and reading the books published. Then he was thinking to settle his brother's like this business and something for maintenance before joining the mat. But one, I think it was then Bharati Maharaj of Prabhupada, he told him, no, Krishna already took away your wife. Don't delay. Don't lose this chance. And his mother also, I think, died something. So he don't delay. You don't do that. You immediately join. So he came, and then he got Harina Mantra Diksha, everything, and was doing all the services as Brahmachari in the mat. And means ascetic, because already he was married. Then he was also sent to preach together with Srila Bon Gosai Maharaj. He was already sannyasi at that time. And Srila Maharaj also was writing articles for magazines published by Prabhupada. So he was preaching together with Bon Maharaj and also our Parangurudev, that time Hayagriv Brahmachari. They are all intimately connected together. So they were preaching in South India and they established that Madras Gauriya Math and those things. So Sridhar Maharaj used to canvass, means bring people to hear Bon Maharaj, and then Bon Maharaj requested Prabhupada that you also give him sannyas. He's a good canvasser, that is okay, but he can also speak Harikatha very nicely, so you can give him sannyas. Then Prabhupada gave him sannyas and he was very happy to give him sannyas and gave him this name, Bhakti Raksak Sridhar Gosvami Maharaj. Then our Gurudev used to narrate that once when they were preaching in Bombay, they were invited by one MP engineer, and there was a fixed time how long he can speak. So our Parangurudev was also there, Sridhar Maharaj was speaking, and he was speaking that Supreme Lord is infinite, unlimited. So he's unknown and unknowable. By finite being, we are finite being. If finite can know infinite or unlimited, then unlimited will not be unlimited. So in this way he was explaining this point. Then the time was over. Then that organizer, he humbly said that you said that God cannot be attained, is impossible. Then why you took sannyas and giving so much effort and renouncing all these things? Then Sridhar Maharaj said, if you give me more time, then I can say. So they gave him more time. Then he explained, it is true that finite cannot know the unlimited. But unlimited also cannot be unlimited if he cannot make himself known to finite. That would also be limitation. He can do that. So we can attain him, but only by his grace. Jiva, by own effort, by the means of material senses, intellect, mind, ego, all this, cannot attain him. But if she surrenders to Supreme Lord, then by his grace, he will reveal himself. That verse is in Upanishad. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Namedayana Bahuna Shrutena Jam Evaisa Prinutitena Labhyas Taseisa Atma Vrinutetanum Swam. One cannot attain Paramatma, Supreme Lord, by giving lectures, by great intellect, even by knowledge of so many shastras, memorizing. Only one whom Supreme Lord will choose to reveal himself to him, he can only know him by his grace. There is no other way. So one who will do surrender, he can know him by his grace. Then all were satisfied. And yesterday also I told, yesterday, on that Zoom meeting, not here, our Gurudev used to narrate this pastime when Prabhupada was to install deities in Sarbo Gauriya Math in Assam. Then Sridhar Maharaj was requested to make all the preparations for the deity, decorate and all this. So this also I heard from Sridhar Maharaj's recordings. He told generally another Maharaj used to do this, but that time somehow I was selected. So I went inside and I did what was necessary, and also I offered tulsi leaf to the feet of Krishna and Mahaprabhu, but not uttering any mantra of offering. Because Prabhupada will come and he will install the deities. So I just put there, but not uttering mantra. Then I came out. Then when Prabhupada entered, he saw and he said, oh, they are already manifested, the self-manifested, they are already installed. Because Sridhar Maharaj is such a devotee that Supreme Lord had to appear there to accept his service. But Sridhar Maharaj felt that I did something which Prabhupada is supposed to do, so I committed offense. Then he requested our Parangurudev to speak to Prabhupada on his behalf to please forgive. Then Prabhupada said, no, a surrendered soul can never commit any offense, because his intention is not to displease Supreme Lord. He's a surrendered soul. He always wants to please Supreme Lord. So if someone is a surrendered soul, how he can commit some offense? Offense means something displeasing. So Prabhupada was actually happy, and he even wrote in some magazines that those deities in Sarvagauryama, they are self-manifested by Sridhar Maharaj's devotion. And our Parangurudev was very happy to bring that message to Sridhar Maharaj. He said, no. He said, you did not commit any offense because you are surrendered soul. Then Parangurudev was very happy. He said, Prabhupada gave you a very good certificate. You are a surrendered soul. So this pastime our Gurudev also used to narrate. And they got that place in Raya Ramananda's in South India, where Mahaprabhu and Raya Ramananda spoke. And Srila Prabhupada also wanted to send him to Western countries to preach, Sridhar Maharaj. But Sridhar Maharaj told that if you order, then surely I must go. But I think I will not be very successful because I cannot understand well their way of speaking, pronunciation, how Englishmen they are speaking, difficult to understand for me. Although Sridhar Maharaj is perfect English, he studied from child, but that way of pronouncing how English, that was some difficulty. And another thing he said that my nature is such, I don't like to mix with many people and these new people, and this, that is not my nature. So I think it is not good. Then Prabhupada said, okay, and then he sent Bongo Sai Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj and another one Brahmachari Sambitananda. And then you also know Srila Bhakti Raksak Goswami Maharaj is fluent in Sanskrit. And during the manifest presence of Prabhupada, he wrote one song singing the glories of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in separation grief from him. So when Prabhupada heard that song, he was very pleased, especially with one shloka where Sridhar Maharaj is explaining that the highest attainment is Radha Dasyam, and how this was brought by Mahaprabhu and distributed by Rupa Goswami and realized by Raghunath Das Goswami, and it is desired by Brahma, Shiva and all. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is capable of giving this to all. So Prabhupada was very happy and he said, now I am peaceful, because if I leave this world, I know there is at least one person who will distribute my message, who will have it and can distribute what I wanted to say. And Prabhupada also said, actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this song through him. And Prabhupada was very happy. And also with his articles, and also Sridhar Maharaj had that capacity to understand what Prabhupada wants to say and where he will go in his Harikatha, and could supply shlokas to Prabhupada in his old age to remember by knowing in advance where he will go. So many times he was requested to explain after Harikatha what Prabhupada said, and then he used to explain. And there are many pastimes. I like to hear his recording because I can hear how Sridhar Maharaj asked some questions to Prabhupada, that direct relation and what Prabhupada is replying. So then, after the, just before disappearance of Prabhupada, he requested 24 hours before, he called for Srila Sridhar Maharaj to his room, and he said, you sing that Shri Rupa Manjari Pada song of Narottam Thakur that explains the highest attainment of Gauriya Vaishnava, the service of Radharani under the guidance of Rupa Manjari. So Sridhar Maharaj was not like generally Kirtaniya in the mat, so he was hesitating to sing. Then that Kunja Bihari Prabhu, secretary, he called another brahmachari who was Kirtaniya and nice voice, and told him to sing, and he started singing. Then Prabhupada stopped. No, I don't want to hear nice voice. That is not point. I want to hear realization. He should sing, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Then he had to sing, and Prabhupada was very happy. And then many God brothers, they understood that he got some special grace by this. That is why many also accepted Srila Sridhar Maharaj as their Shiksha Guru after the disappearance of Prabhupada. Many took also sannyas from him, and they all were consulting with him because his way of speaking and that depth, it was like Prabhupada, same thing. And he would clearly present what is Prabhupada's message. So after the disappearance of Prabhupada, he was also there in Samadhi, and there also he sang Shri Rupa Manjari Pada while they were putting in Samadhi. Then the GBC was formed, and Ananta Vasudeva was selected as next Acharya. So then this lila of manifesting many acharyas happened. So at first, Srila Sridhar Maharaj was staying in Bagbazar Gauriya Math with Ananta Vasudeva Prabhu. He was also voting for him, and there were 8 for him, 5 were against. And then that is lila. So, but then he had some difference of opinion or conception with him, with Ananta Vasudeva. Then he came out and was doing bhajan in Vrindavan first. Then he wanted to settle in Navadip because that is a place which is most merciful, and even offenders, they can be rescued. So he thought that is my place, is most merciful. And then he thought that if I want to stay in Navadip, then I have to get the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. So then he first went to Ekachakra Dham and bowed down to Nityananda Prabhu, praying for his grace. And he said, I felt when I was bowing down, the Nityananda Prabhu is giving me message, no, I will not give you my grace, because you don't want to distribute it. My mercy is such, it has to be distributed, but you don't want to distribute, so how I can give you? And then again, Sridhar Maharaj stood and again did Dandavat, Again same message came, and again, third time, again same message. Then Srila Sridhar Maharaj said something changed in me. Then I decided, okay, because he was thinking I will do solitary bhajan till the end of life. But then I changed my mind by the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. Then I thought, okay, I can do, but in a meager way, in a small this scale. Then he got permission. Then he came to Navadip and was staying unknown there, but speaking one time Bhagavat during, and some local they were hearing, and rented one place. He said during daytime I would read and cook one time, and during night time I would chant, because during daytime there was good light. In the night time, that time no electricity everywhere and only candles. So he said I used to chant and worship Govardhan. Then his god brother Saki Charan Babu, somehow he found him and he told him, no, I will make one place for you. You establish some mat. Then Sridhar Maharaj accepted, and this is how Sri Chaitanya Saraswat mat slowly was established gradually. And our Parangurudev was staying in Chaitanya mat with Kunja Bihari Prabhu, and he wanted to take sannyas. All god brothers, they were requesting. So he went to Sridhar Maharaj and told him, actually, I want to take sannyas from you, but because I'm staying in Chaitanya mat with Kunja Bihari Prabhu and you are having some difference of opinion, means that is lila of different ways. So it would not be good, means it would not be possible, but at least you give some name for my sannyas. Then Sridhar Maharaj said, okay, it should be Bhakti Daita, because Deita means is in the name of my Gurudev. Barsha Banabi Deita Das. Deita means there. Barsha Banabi means Radharani. There. So I heard some devotees, they mispronounce. They say Bhakti Daitya. That is not correct. Daitya means demon. Those who are born from Diti. It is Deita. It is there. He said this should be there, Bhakti Deita, and then either Madhava or Damodar. Then let your sannyas guru decide for that. So he went to Srila Bhakti Gaura Bhaikanash Gosai Maharaj, and he gave him this name, Bhakti Deita Madhava Gosai Maharaj. And many other god brothers like Aprakrita Prabhu, Saranga Goswami, he took sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, got the name Bhakti Saranga Gosai Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj also took sannyas from him, and many others, Paramahansa Maharaj, so many, Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan, many. And his mood was to remain in one place and do bhajan, but he used to come every year to our Kolkata mat on the invitation of Parangurudev for that annual festival. One is during winter time, Diti installation time, one is during Janmashtami, 2 annual festivals. So Sridhar Maharaj used to come. You will find many photos of him in our Kolkata mat, in library, and also there inside is there speaking Harikatha. So our Gurudev said, I first time met him there, and I heard his Harikatha. And one day, Sridhar Maharaj was saying in Harikatha, we should give up enjoyment, bhog, and we should also give up renunciation, tyag. Tyaga, tyag. You have to renounce renunciation. Then Gurudev said, I was confused, because when I was in my house and my father used to tell me to read Gita, That is about tyag, about renunciation. So I thought that is good, but why here Sridhar Maharaj is saying we should also renounce, renunciation. Then he came to his room where he was staying, and he humbly asked him, you were saying this. Then Sridhar Maharaj smiled and said, do you own anything? If you own something, then you can either enjoy it or you can give it up. Because it is your own, you can give up. But if you are not owning a thing, then how can you say you can give it up? It is not yours. You are renouncing. So everything belongs to Supreme Lord. We are not the owners of anything. So we are not qualified to enjoy or renounce. That will be unnatural and unpleasant. The only natural thing for us is seva. With the articles which belong to Supreme Lord, we have to serve Him. That is natural. Then Gurudev was satisfied and he used to speak this all the time in Harikathas. And also about humbleness. If someone asked our Gurudev about humbleness, how we can attain, then always he used to quote Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that in one meeting someone attacked him because Sridhar Maharaj was expressing his humbleness. I am not qualified to preside over this meeting, expressing humbleness, but one person attacked him. Then when Sridhar Maharaj spoke, he said, who can be humble? One who is in contact with superior person. Then naturally he will be humble. Then our Gurudev used to explain, if I have 100 euro, then if I will see someone who has 10 euros, then naturally we will feel I'm more than him. Maybe outside we may act like we are humble, I have nothing, but inside we will think, I'm so much superior to him. But if I meet someone with 1,000 euro, then I will feel some humbleness in front of him. And if I meet someone with like 1,000,000 euros or more than that, then I will think I'm nothing. So like that, if one is in contact with Supreme Lord and his personal associate, then naturally he will be humble. It is natural. Also, I read after that from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, one quote was there, in India I saw. If someone thinks he's big, it proves he did not yet meet the biggest, means Supreme Lord. And they asked Sridhar Maharaj, why your Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, he is a sadhu? Why he's using such filthy words in his song, that this desire for name and fame is like stool of a pig, shukarer bishta. Pratishta is shukarer bishta. How he can use such filth? He's a sadhu. Then Sridhar Maharaj immediately replied, yes, my Gurudev, he was searching for the most filthy word possible. He could not find anyone more. So, but if he would find some more filthy, dirty word, he would use that word to express how filthy, how dirty this desire for name and fame is. You should not look even at it, what to speak of touching, because pig is eating the stool of others. That is his food. And what then he's passing that stool, that filth. So should not see or touch. So dangerous is this pratishtha. It is just the opposite of service to Supreme, just the opposite. So one has to be very carefully, one has to give up. In this Purushottam article also this is there, like in Kartik. One may be able to give up desire for accumulation of money and the sex enjoyment, woman or man like this, but very difficult to give up desire for getting respect. Very difficult, very problematic, our Parang Gurudev also told. But it can be possible if we get association of superior sadhus. Then it is possible. They will check that. So then Sridhar Maharaj used to come, and then also in his old age, after the disappearance of Srila Sai Maharaj, many his disciples, they came to him because Sai Maharaj told, if necessity arises for any philosophical questions or any practical these things, then I can recommend my god brother Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So they went to him and were consulting also those gurus at the beginning, but then later they could not, due to some anarthas, they went against him, some, and some were with him. So Sridhar Maharaj felt that because Prabhupada wanted me to preach in the West, I could not go. So it is like if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain, then mountain will come to Muhammad. He said, so I feel like same thing. I did not go west, but my Gurudev wanted me to go. So now you are all coming to me. So he helped them, encouraged them, and made them understand, and also some high topics he explained to them. And in this way, he was doing his service. In Navadip Dham, there are so many pastimes, and his glories are unlimited. You will find in the book of Srila Bharati Maharaj and also Srila Bodhayan Maharaj now in this book and others. So that is, he's from Goloka, Manjari, and he appeared as a personal associate of Prabhupada to spread this pure teaching of Mahaprabhu. And there are many recordings, years, and many books published in English. Also, he translated from Bengali whole Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and with commentary that is very much appreciated by all members of Gauriya Math. And so many songs he wrote in Sanskrit. We are singing that Sujanar Gudara Dhitapada Jugam Jugadha, that Pranamami Sada Prabhupada he wrote, and about Gorkishore Das Babaji and other, and many books in Sanskrit. And he gave sannyas to his god brothers, also to some of these Western devotees, Sai Maharaj's disciples, and he appreciated Sai Maharaj very much. He said this, what he did is impossible. He was empowered. Shakti Abesh got special power from Krishna or Nityananda Prabhu to do this work. And then he played the pastime of sickness, and at that time Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj was inspired to see him. Just 3-4 days before his departure, he went there and Sridhar Maharaj requested him, you stay here with me, I need you. Then he made samadhi of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Puri Maharaj also singing glories all the time. They were closely also connected, or like with our Parang Gurudev. Many times Srila Sridhar Maharaj is mentioning our Parang Gurudev and praising him in his recordings, appreciating. Then on today's day he disappeared from this world, and is not ordinary person. Realize so. If you hear how he's answering the questions, very practical and with examples, perfect. You cannot imagine. And I also heard from Srila Bhaktinandan Swami Maharaj, his disciple. He came to him very young. You can hear him on those recordings also. So he told me that one time he was sitting with Sridhar Maharaj, and he felt some fragrance unknown till now, something out of this world, some fragrance came. And then after some time, Sridhar Maharaj said, "You saw?" Then he said, "No, what? I didn't see anything." Then she said, "You didn't see?" Then he said, "No. You didn't see Mahaprabhu was now passing now here with all his personal associates. They were doing Nagar Sankirtan, they were doing in ecstaticals, that in Prema. You didn't see." Then he said, "No, I didn't see." But he understood that that fragrance, what he got was by the grace of Mahaprabhu, that fragrance out of this world. So such was Sridhar Maharaj, realized so. And he explained all the points of Prabhupada, which were like innovative at that time, like this, our Guru Parampara, and about sannyas, and all this he explained perfectly how this is. And why, what was the purpose to make like that? Because he got everything from Prabhupada, direct realization. So then Puri Gosai Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj said, when Srila Sridhar Maharaj disappeared from this world, now Gauriya Mat is empty. He could feel like that. So today is his disappearance day. I got this fortune to visit his mat there in Navadip for his, means many times I went also on his Vyasa Puja days, that is on, during Kartik, and by his grace also I could speak there, although I was not expecting, but they told me. And his Bhajan Kutir is there, Samadhi, and that photo of Prabhupada which he worshipped himself, and his water pots and sweaters and bed, everything is there. You can see Danda and his Japamala. Once, by some great fortune, I got it on my head. So if you will hear his recordings and read what was published, then you can understand by his grace. He's not ordinary person, personal associate of Radharani. So I'm remembering his Samadhi Mandir and going down to his lotus feet and praying his causeless mercy. I got that experience, I forgot to tell. When I got Harinam from Gurudev, then I went to Puri, and shortly after I came to Chandigarh because Gurudev's Vyasa Puja was there. So I was new devotee. Before I read the books of Sai Maharaj, something little, Gita and that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching. So when I came to Chandigarh, my god brother, Brindavan Prabhu, yesterday you saw him on Zoom, he gave me that book Golden Volcano by Srila Maharaj. So I did not know who is Sridhar Maharaj, nothing at that time. I got that book he's giving me, so I started reading, and it was so attractive and so nectarian, I could not stop reading. I was not feeling that I should stop reading. Just I was reading. So almost like in one, I finished whole. When I started reading, I could not stop reading. So attractive and so nectarian. that was, I was reading. So that was my first contact with him. Then later I came to know about him, but before I just a reading book. So such is he. So tomorrow we will start Purushottam Brata. First we will chant Jagannathashtakam and Chauragraganya Purushashtakam, and maybe these 12 times jap we can do. Then for how long it will take this article, and then Brahmastava. So that will tomorrow. Haribol.